Hi, this is Danny Cohen from Israel. What we see in the picture, it's take number one. This is a Rabbi Eliezer Berland, and he's a Hasidic, and he's from the Hasidish of Rabbi Nachman from Breslev, which is considered very happy guys. They like to have a transit car, and on Purim give the kids a lot of candies and tons of heavy music in the street with loudspeaker, and give you also free CDs. They are very good in PR. Now, not everybody in the Breslev are like him, but he's one of them. There are streams under the radar which are going there, and he is right now connected to the murder of two guys, which for some reason it doesn't surface that they are Sepharadic, both of them, but it's very clear from the name. It was mentioned before, a month or two ago, when I was entering into this issue. It was mentioned that because they were Sepharadic. Right now, the press doesn't mention this fact, even though it's very clear. Now, the one was a Sephardic guy named of Nissim Shitrit. This is the guy. And he was a teenager, which is making a murder is a murder, but a teenager is probably much heavier. That's him. We'll get back to it. And this is the other one, which is Avi Edri, also Sephardic. And both of them were murdered, according to what I read on the newspaper a few months ago, because they were Sephardic. Now, there is a stream under the radar which are chasing Sephardic, each one for its own reason, and are eliminating them under the radar. Now, it sounds very remote because this was happening in 1986, about 35 years ago. But I just this morning filed another criminal complaint, which tells us that the Bells yeshiva right next to me are harassing me heavily also at night, which means their Admor, chief rabbi of Bells, is behind it. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it completely, which tells us that there are a lot of Ashkenazic, especially from Hasidish, which are after Sephardic under the radar. They are trying to cover it. But here, in this case, this is a straight cut and clear murder. Now, what happened is that, let's go to the end that tells us the story in short. On 1st of November 2021, not long ago, Rabbi Berland was arrested for murdering of both of them. He, in the investigation, connected himself to the murder, and also exposed to one of the brothers of the killed one that he can mourn on him because he's dead. And he also instructed one of his Hasidish to show the police where he was buried, but he didn't show. And they say he was not successful to show where he was buried. So in short, the bottom line is the police didn't find the buried person. We have to look at all the picture to understand what's going on here. Now, 1 month after he was arrested, he was released, this Hasidish. And now, according to the Justice Department, Rabbi Berland, Eliezer Berland, was sending his Hasidish to assassinate both Sephardim. Now, we have to read between the small letters and the line. Now, there was a change in the law, it doesn't say what and where, between the time of the murder in 1986 and between the time of filing the accusation, which tell us in between that there is a legal problem here. They don't tell you what, and probably if it was any change, it was done on purpose. Now, the people which were behind the change probably didn't know why it is done, because it is done in the Knesset. but somehow they wrap it up in a way that they will clear him out of jail. That's the idea here. So we see that what it says, black on white, is the justice system is trying to clear him under the radar, because otherwise he will be sitting in jail for the rest of his life, right? Now, what is the deal? The deal is that there is a woman which was arrested, and she was the tempting bait to lure the people to the place which they were needed, and then there they were executed, assassinated. So she knows everything in and out, so she gave all the info to the police, but for some reason the police cannot wrap it up. They almost have everything, because Rabbi Berland already admitted. Now we have to be very careful. Him being a Hasidish or belonging to the Breslev doesn't make everybody bad, because tons of big rabbis went against him and wrote it black on white that he is involved in major activities. He was also chased around the world trying to run away when he was involved in major Me Too occasions as rapes and stuff like that, which some of them he admitted. Now, also, the point is, we can see that something is fishy, right? Now, let's see what is says. Now now I see it. They don't let me make it bigger, but we make it bigger here on the screen here, which tells us, look, he's talking about laundering money in the tune of dozens of millions of shekels, and he is going to be in jail for 18 months, cut off 10 months which he was in a jail arrested. So he will end up with 8 months, cut off 1/3. So he almost will be no time and he will leave jail. Now, what we see as a public, we see a major action around him, right? They chase him around the world, around the globe, and he's going to Holland and South Africa, you name it. And then Interpol is after him. So they caught him. Good. But the end result is nothing, because they put him in jail and interrogated him, and he admitted in everything, major stuff. Anybody else which is, let's say, put it on the table. If it was sepharadic, it was prison for life with hard labor. Now, but the main point is that for some reason we see that somehow the police and the Justice Department are not able to wrap up the murder investigation, even though they have tons of witnesses, people involved, and state witnesses which are willing to testify if they have immunity. They have tons of people, but they are not wrapping up the investigation. They are not getting to final conclusion, even though everything is on the table. He admits that he was behind the murder and he sent the people, but still everything is stuck. Nothing is happening. So what we are seeing in front of our eyes, very simple. It's a big show. There's no business like show business. They arrest him, they chase him, and so on and so forth. But the end result is, even he admits that he was part of the murder. Somehow they have a loophole in the legal system, that's what they are claiming, which doesn't make any sense at all. Somehow the police doesn't hook up all the loose ends and wrap up the investigation and file a criminal accusation against him. So he's like about to walk out free after he confessed in murdering. There's probably more than the two, but he confessed about these two. These two Sephardim were assassinated because they were Sephardic. There's no question about it. And is also involved in laundering dozens of millions of shekels. We are talking major breach of law, major, nothing minor. And he is walking free almost right now. This can happen only when he is Ashkenazi. It's not me saying so. We were sitting in the yeshiva a while ago. This was when I was in the yeshiva of Rabbi Shmuel Eliyahu and Yossi Eliyahu. We were sitting in a table, and in front of us were some Ashkenazi. And during a debate about some criminal accusation and political figures coming up on the news, one of them says they are not going to put him in jail because he's Ashkenazi. Now the guy which was talking was Ashkenazi. So he was talking freely. He says, no, there's no way that the system is completely one-sided. So if it's somebody which is patriot or is Sephardic, he goes to jail for endless years. If he's Ashkenazi and he belongs to the stream which we are in, the white tribe, he is going to walk out free after even murdering two Sephardic and laundering tons of millions of shekels, which are also tons of millions of dollars, which is, you look at it, it's unbelievable. Now, everybody is playing his role, right? The Justice Department is filing claims, they go to court. The judge say that Eliezer Berland, the rabbi, connected himself to the murder. That's a judgment. It's written, it's black on white on the documents of the court. But the police and the Justice Department are not wrapping up the case. So they cannot file criminal accusation against him. So he's going to walk out free. So they can eat the cake and have it. So they will say, look, we check it, we chased him throughout the globe, we caught him, we put him in jail, everything you want. But the bottom line is going to walk out free after murder and rounding money of tons of millions of dollars. This is because he belongs to the stream of the white tribe, which are giving a green light to assassinated Sephardic under the radar. It's happening all the time. It's not like a one shot, something happened and they caught the bad guy, one. There are tons of people like him, tons, in the system, and they know it. That's why they're afraid to send him to jail for murder, because afterwards you will have tons of them floating and be sent to jail, because there are tons of rabbis which are working under the radar, assassinating Sephardic all the time, tons of them. And they know it, the system know it very well, and they are connected with the white tribe, which is the Ashkenazic, together with Antifa, which is completely atheist, but they are working together because they feel like cozy. They are both from East Europe, and they feel like friendly, even though they are completely on the two sides of the spectrum of the faith.